Another episode. Welcome back to Stay Sonder, the greatest fucking podcast in the world, man. Number one podcast in the world. All the things I meant to say. It's been a minute. It's been a long time. Again, I try not to do or make episodes unless it kind of feels real to me, or unless I live with whatever the question is on my mind for a long enough time that I have processed it to then share it with people. And I try to be inspired by conversations I have with people before I actually record something. I had a conversation with someone weeks ago, and this actually spans back months actually, but I had one with the person weeks ago, and it's always very different when you talk to someone decades older than you, and you can just hear that they've already given up on life. That's always very interesting to me because I look at it from my perspective and I'm like, why do they sound like this? And why do they feel the need to tell you, don't worry, when you get older, you understand? No, I don't plan on giving up on my life. I've never been that. I've never done any of the things you're doing. We don't live similar lives. We don't have the same trajectory. We don't have the same destination in mind. We don't have the same drive, same will. Same experiences. Our resilience levels are very different. Our tolerance levels are very different. My focus is very different. My discipline is very different. And yeah, they feel the need to tell you, oh, don't worry, you see. I was nah, I'm still yet to see shit, and I'm never going to see anything, man. That's what it is. But then listen to someone talk, and the person was just talking about how, they hate change. Because by the age that they are right now, they just want predictability. They want the same thing. They hate change. Change scares them. And every 2 seconds, it was a repeat of the same lines of just accepting that they are nothing in this world, that they are of no significance, of they play no vital role. Even in their own story, they don't play a vital role in their lives. In their own lives, they're never the main character. They're just living through the day-to-day of whatever life throws at them, accepting that they're at the bottom. And I found it so crazy talking to the person. I felt like I was in a fucking dream. I thought I was hallucinating at some point. I was like, what is going on now right now? I'm never really in the presence of people who don't even believe their importance in their own lives, who don't lead their own lives. So whenever I am and I hear the extent of it, again, I know people like that as well that think that way, but the extent of this person was so beyond anything I've ever heard of or seen as to what they were saying. On how they have given up so much and they're just willing, just following through the motions of whatever life throws at them. Literally living life, reacting to what it has for them. Not dictating, not curating, not creating anything in their own lives. And it was so fucking wild because in my mind, I always question, what does this all mean? What exactly is life for me? What is my definition? What am I trying to create? What is the destination? What is my goal with all this? And I think a lot of people who are young also have the same question. Now, where they go to get their answers, what they choose for their answers to be, and whether they keep asking those questions, only time will tell. Because people end up doing things that make sense on paper, that make sense to what the world, our society has told us we're supposed to do. And everything that they felt was their identity, everything that made them their own individuals, starts to slowly die. To accept what society tells them is right and proper. So they appear to be busy, but then underneath it all is all fucking empty. There's nothing they're doing. They have no real reason why they're doing what they do. They wake up every day, they answer to their names, but the individual is long gone. The soul is long gone. Dead. Because the question that they were asking starts to get buried underneath the noise. And they fill up any sorts of silence with distractions and excuses. Anything to drain that sense, the persistent sense that there has to be more in some type of way that fills your soul. It literally is like standing in front of your own life and asking, if my life was a story, what would it be about? What is the through line? What is the thing that makes you, when you strip it away, the obligation of the performance of your daily life and the plan, like what remains of yourself? For me, that's like a very uncomfortable answer because I pointed out to myself that like I know what's important to me, but the things that are important to me, I found out that like I've been spending my time keeping those things at the margins, and I'm focused on spending so much energy on things I actually don't care about. But it's like an obligation. But I don't care about. Like it's nothing that like I feel like I'm proud of. Nothing that like when I die, I want people to talk about forever. It's not a part of my legacy that I give a fuck about. It's not anything I can pass down to others. It's literally just feels like I'm just wasting so much time on things I don't care about. And then the things I do care about, I'm trying to like find little time to squeeze it in. And it's crazy. It's crazy because it should never be that way. It should is. It's a very, very uncomfortable truth, but it is true. Because the margins used to be the main thing. And the purpose of the main thing was to support the margins. And now it seems like the main thing is taking over everything else and the margins are just thinning away slowly and slowly over time. Which I guess is the fucking trap. I think that's when people like start giving up. I think that's the exact moment people start to accept whatever comes their way. Because what choice do you think they have at that point? The beautiful thing about it that I would say is that like it is a very difficult thing to come to terms with about yourself. But then the moment you see it, you can't see it. It's glaring at that point. It's an obvious truth about yourself that you either have to decide to change or to accept fully that it's just who you are. And to live on like decades of your life accepting that this is who you are is crazy. Life you don't want, like, not to sound dark, but what exactly is the point of your being here? You know? I like to think about life, about how what curating is, how it's our masterpiece to paint, how we decide what goes where. Curation is the deliberate act of choosing what you build, what you pour into yourself, what you leave behind, creating something so completely yours, so fully inhabited that living inside it feels like a dream you choose rather than the reality that chose you. And I think that's always the goal, to always live life like it's a dream, like it's unreal. Life hasn't felt real to me since like 2020. And that's like that's the exact feeling I love of like doing new things, like meeting new people, like having new experiences. It's like you start to question like, yo, like if I should wake up right now, would I be surprised? And that's really how it feels for me every day. It's like, would I be surprised if I woke up right now and I realized I was actually doing all this? It makes no sense to me. Like I still very clearly remember myself at 10. And then I look at myself today and I'm like, how the hell is this possible that I'm doing all this by myself? Like, how is this? It feels like a dream. It really does feel like a dream. And I feel like the older you get, the bigger your dream should be. And the more energy you should spend on like creating and curating all of that to become your reality. And the moment it starts to feel normal to you, that you already know where your next target is. You know where your next goal is. You always have to keep building that dream onwards and upwards forever. Albert Camus, or Camus, sat in an occupied France in 1942. He was in the middle of a war. There was literal evidence that his world was indifferent to human suffering. And his life was a fucking disaster. Like, living in the middle of a war zone is crazy, bro. One of the things he wrote was this: in the midst of winter, I found that there was within me an invincible summer. I think that's the beauty of adversity. I think that's the beauty of life, is whatever the experiences you go through, there's always something beautiful that grows between the cracks of life. And if you don't stay long enough in your own story, if you don't pay attention, if you don't what's her background, if you don't care about your own life to the point of trying to find what's underneath, and being patient with it and giving it the right conditions for it to grow. Your invincible summer just stays buried because you can't even find the light. It doesn't start when things get better. It starts from the point where you feel like your world is ending. In the middle of it, the inner life, the thing you build inside yourself and pour out into the world, that's something that starts from the darkness and keeps growing and growing. If you want that to be your story, that's exactly how that works. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstance. The meaning of life, to me, when I ask the question like, what does it all mean? It's not something we find in the world. It's not something as a magic answer as a certain age becomes clear to us. I think the meaning of life has always been very, very obvious. You just choose not to believe it, which is, hey, it's whatever you want it to be. I think the gift of life is to experience life in any way you want it to be, to have the freedom to choose what kind of life you want for yourself, to create and curate what you want for yourself and how you want to live with no limitations. Doesn't make it easy to live. It means that it's possible. It's all very possible and it all depends on you. With no limitations. There is no certain guarantee that we're all born for this one reason. I used to think that, Lord, that was my purpose. I have to find my purpose in the world. Looking back, that was literally a stupid way to think about anything. Like, what purpose? Like, what purpose could possibly be waiting for me out there in the world that I have to find? And how do you find this? You dictate the terms of your own life. You decide how you want to live your own life. That's always been true since the beginning of time. For anyone who ever did anything they were proud of, they did things that felt right to them. It wasn't like a certain purpose that the gods came down from heaven and placed on their heart and said, your purpose is this. No, it was a thing of, hey, I want this for myself. And that's it. I enjoy doing this. That's it. That's always been it. There is no certain guarantee. It's your decision. It's what you choose to believe and what you choose to live. And that's exactly what curation means. The deliberate choosing every single day of your life and deciding what exactly that day is going to be about. Underneath all that curation and creation and choosing and building, the question of what does it all mean remains the same. And it means nothing. Like there's no deeper meaning. It means nothing. It's just a story to tell. It's your story to decide. It's your story to live. It means nothing. There is no deeper meaning to any of it. It's just you. Rumi wrote 800 years ago. Rumi's a poet, by the way. In the writing of the aftermath of everything falling apart. The wound is the place where the light enters you. So the question of what does it all mean in itself is a wound looking for a solution, looking for a healing in some type of way. A crack in the surface of a life lived only on the outside. And the crack is not the problem. The crack is where the light gets in. Rilke and The Young Poet, I recommend everyone should read that, by the way. The Young Poet is an amazing book. It feels like every young person questions in one book, and it doesn't give you an answer. It just tells you to keep living life and stop asking questions. And the questions that you're looking for to be answered so badly will be answered as you keep on living life. It's such a beautiful read. Because again, in the book, the beginning part of the book was when this guy's asking Rilke, hey, are my poems good enough? What do you think? Do you think they're actually good? And he's like, hey, stop worrying about whether they're good or not. Worry about whether you're telling your truth. And it's just a beautiful way to answer such a question do you think this is good enough? Because you have that feel, of course, of is my work good enough? Is it actually compared? Is it actually a good standard? Are people just telling me this for the sake of telling me this? Should I keep on believing or not? And the beauty of the book is him telling the poet, the young poet, hey, you're worrying about the wrong thing. And I guess that's what like time and experience also teaches you at the same time, which is the beauty of like reading older books or talking to older people, sensible older people, not just any older person. It's that they have these insights because they spend many years of their lives like worrying about the same questions, and they got to the point where it's like, no, actually, I spent too many years questioning and not enough time living. But yeah, back to what he's saying. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Live your way into the answer. Through the doing, through the building, through the creating, through the deliberate choosing of what your life is going to be about. Before the evidence arrives that you are right to choose it. Do what feels good for you. I don't think the meaning is something you find. I think it's something you make slowly, imperfectly, with patience, in the margins of first, in the hours before work and after work, on the weekends when no one is watching you, when no one even knows what you're doing, when there is no applause, there is no crowd, there is no audience, there are no spectators. There's nothing going on. And then gradually, if you're honest enough and brave enough to actually live in the center of your own life, to let the world go through you, in the place where most of your life actually happens, in the main hours, right in the center, you start to live out a life you envisioned, to living something that you built, to have the thing that you're most proud of be your main thing and not a side project anymore. To turn your dream into a daily reality, not an escape to make you feel better about your day, but to live in it completely. And that's like what I want for myself. That's always what I wanted for myself. That's always been my goal. To envision something and create it until I live in it. No matter how long it takes. Slowly but surely, it's a given. Like it's a must. And I think if you're listening to this, you're probably the same way as well. Unless like your first time just trying to figure out what Stay Sonder is about. By the way, I love when people like ask me like, why I chose Stay Sonder, and then they had like the same thoughts about Sonder. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck you name? And it came to me, by the way, just naturally, which is also part of like, again, living your own life and living your own truth, is that like, things also just start to happen in weird ways like you never expected. And it feels like everything just starts to like circle around you because again, you're living in your own world. But then when you start to like build someone else's life, and that's your main thing that you're doing, you're living in someone else's reality and you're building their dream and neglecting yours. The gap in information that we all search for, and the question is, all parts of just what I guess being young is about. So, I mean, the older people ask the same questions, but I think mostly young people ask these questions because they're just trying to figure life out. But the gap is the information that you need. The question is the compass that you need as well. And they're both pointing at the same thing. The only question left is when you decide to follow them. It's your life to live. It's your life to curate. It's your life to create. The decisions that you make have consequences that you have to live with. The dream that you decide to either build or to neglect is a future that you have to live in and accept. I think that's important for you to remember, to always give room for that question to always live. What does it all mean? So stay bold, stay brave, and as always, stay Sonder.